Hello everyone. In this lecture today, I'm going to talk to you about what is pyrosequencing, how is pyrosequencing performed, what are the advantages and limitations of pyrosequencing. Pyrosequencing is a DNA sequencing technology that is based on the sequencing by synthesis principle. What does this mean? This means that this method relies on the luminometric detection of released pyrophosphate molecule during DNA synthesis. The name pyrosequencing comes from the luminometric detection of released pyrophosphate molecule during DNA synthesis. So then, what are the steps involved in pyrosequencing? In the pyrosequencing, in the first step, the segment of the DNA is amplified, okay? The segment of the DNA is amplified and the strand to serve as the template for the pyrosequencing method, okay? The strand to serve as the template for the pyrosequencing method is biotinylated, right? Because we use biotinylated reverse primer here. And then what we do the denaturation, and after the denaturation, biotinylated single-stranded PCR amplicon is isolated. And after the isolation of biotinylated single-stranded PCR amplicon, we hybridize with the sequencing primer. Okay, we hybridize with the sequencing primer. So, and in the next step, what we do, we incubate biotinylated single-stranded template and hybridize primers with DNA polymerase, ATP sulfurylase, luciferase, apirase, adenosine 5' phosphosulfate, and luciferin. Okay, and in the next step, what happens? The first DNTP is added to the reaction. Okay, in the third step, what happens? First DNTP is added to the reaction, and DNA polymerase catalyzes the addition of DNTP. DNA polymerase catalyzes the addition of the DNTP to the sequencing primer. Okay, to the sequencing primer if the DNTP sequence is complementary to the base in the template strand. Okay, this is our template strand, this is biotinylated, and if this DNTP is complementary to the base in the template strand, then DNA polymerase catalyzes the addition of DNTP to the sequencing primer. So then the addition of DNTP here, DTP, what it does, it causes the release of pyrophosphate molecule. Okay, the addition of DNTP to this strand here causes the release of pyrophosphate molecule, and the release of pyrophosphate molecule is in equimolar quantity with the amount of DNTP added. Okay, so from this step, what we have gotten? We have gotten the pyrophosphate molecule. So, and in the next step, so what happens? In the next step, this pyrophosphate molecule, okay, this pyrophosphate molecule will be converted into ATP by the enzyme ATP sulfurylase. Okay, the ATP sulfurylase convert pyrophosphate into ATP in the presence of adenosine 5' phosphosulfate. Okay, APS. In the presence of APS, pyrophosphate will be converted into ATP by the enzyme ATP sulfurylase. Okay, so this ATP, so now the ATP has been synthesized. This is the ATP here. In this step, we have gotten the ATP, and this ATP drives, what it drives? It drives, this ATP drives the luciferase mediated, okay? Luciferase is another enzyme that we have, mediated conversion of luciferin to oxyluciferin, okay? Luciferase mediated conversion of luciferin to oxyluciferin, and this oxyluciferin generates visible light. Okay, the oxyluciferin generates visible light. The visible light is generated, which is proportional to the amount of ATP. Okay, the amount of ATP, the light generated is proportional to the amount of ATP. So luciferin is converted into oxyluciferin by the enzyme luciferase, and this oxyluciferin generates the visible light. Okay, oxyluciferin generates the visible light, which is in proportional to the amount of ATP. Okay, so then the light produced. Okay, so in this step here, what has happened? The light has been produced, and this light produced is actually detected by charge coupled device camera, and it is seen as a peak. Okay, as shown here, it is seen as a peak in the pyrogram. This graph is called pyrogram. Okay, the light produced is detected by the charged coupled camera. Okay, charge coupled device camera, and it is seen as a peak. Okay, you can see that this is seen as a peak in the pyrogram. Okay, in the pyrogram. So then the height of the peak, okay, this height of the peak is actually proportional to the number of nucleotide added. Okay, height of the peak is proportional to the number of nucleotide added. Okay, number of nucleotide added. Okay, so and in the next step, what happens? So in the next step, apyrase, we have another enzyme that is called apyrase, and this apyrase is a nucleotide degrading enzyme. Okay, this is a nucleotide degrading enzyme. So what it does, it continuously degrades, apyrase continuously degrades unincorporated nucleotides. Okay, so for example here DNTP, which is unincorporated, that will be degraded by apyrase into DNDP, DNMP plus phosphate. Also this apyrase degrades ATP into ADP, AMP and phosphate. When degradation is complete, another nucleotide is added. Okay, when degradation is complete, another nucleotide is added. And in the next step, here, I must have mentioned here that the addition of the nucleotide or the DNTPs is performed sequentially. Okay, so as the process continues, the complementary DNA strand, okay, the complementary DNA strand is built up, and the nucleotide sequence is determined from the signal peaks in the pyrogram. So for example here, we have here these signal peaks, okay, and from these signal peaks, the nucleotide sequence can be determined. Okay, so then what are the advantages and disadvantages of pyrosequencing method? Pyrosequencing has a lot of advantages. The advantages include this is an accurate method, flexibility with this method, and parallel processing, and can easily be automated. And pyrosequencing technique avoids the need for labeled nucleotides and gel electrophoresis. The disadvantages are it can only sequence a short length of the nucleotide sequence, approximately 100 bases. And pyrosequencing data analysis sometimes can be complex and quite challenging. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you very much for your kind attention.